The bills are going around, I believe they're in front of Lee Culver. As soon as Lee gets back, I'm gonna open up the public hearing / meeting regarding the beach fees and rules and regulations. Approval of commission. While we're waiting for Lee, there's minutes from 1:26 and 2:23. What's the board's pleasure?
I'll move 126,
I'll second.
So that was Vaughn.
and I'll move 223.
We're gonna go the first one first.
Yeah, 126.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion on those minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Can
Opposed?
somebody who
Yep.
promoted,
He
Did remote
participated.
participation.
You know what, just to make it clear,
I
David,
was at a conference. You're talking about,
I understand that.
yeah, but when
I'm not sure that a person that participated in the meeting remotely
Got him by
can
email.
make a motion to prove.
even though they can
get on
vote.
back, Rob.
Right.
Yeah, if you, just to keep, we'll
I'll
get an
withdraw.
answer on that. David, would you mind making the motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of 1/22/23.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a motion from David, a second from Lee. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is a vote. 223?
I was at the 223, so I'll make that motion.
Were you here in February?
Yeah.
Good memory.
No,
All right, I was thinking I was losing my mind, Vaughn, but that's okay.
The last meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the 223 minutes. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is a vote. Bills are going around, as we mentioned. I guess we could, you know what we'll do? We'll go, you wanna go there, yeah? Okay, we have Ed McManus is here
Hi, Ed.
regarding installation of a gate at Brooks Park. Ed, why don't you open it up?
Yeah, the police department and the fire department, actually, both of them have asked that with using the field at Brooks Park for during the festival weekend, that they would like an additional gate be placed sort of in the same position the existing gate for vehicle access to the field is, but on the third base line. During the run of the music concerts, we need to bring vehicles in to unload equipment, and with the existing gate, they wind up having to drive through the food concession area, and the police department's just concerned of somebody getting injured. Hasn't happened yet, but doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And the fire department also feels with having a gate on the other sideline, if they need to get a piece of emergency equipment onto the field, they don't also have the similar problem of getting through the food vendor area. And I talked just briefly to Link, and he indicates it'd probably be about $1,000, and the festival would pay all costs that it would take to put in the gate.
Okay, thank you, Ed. David Nixon, any questions?
Ed, do you have an idea what kind of gate you want to use, you're looking to get?
Well,
You want something similar like a White House where they roll it back and forth?
No, he's looking for
You
the
want
same.
an
Like the one on the first
open gate like the one,
Like the one on the first base side, yeah,
so you want it similar?
yeah.
Jan?
No?
David?
It's a little tricky over there. It's close to the road. There's some trees in the way. I'd have to really look at it.
Yeah. Any other questions on the tree?
How I guess not. What's your recommendation, Eric?
I had talked to Boo, just to see what he thought about it. He said he's fine with it, as long as it doesn't affect the, I think the cherry blossom trees there.
Yes.
Yeah,
As long as it doesn't affect the trees, he doesn't wanna have to cut those back or
yeah,
anything.
no. It-
Other than that, the only other thing I brought up to him was, having another gate with another lock. You know how we have locks and gates everywhere.
Yep.
He said he'd open it up for the Cranberry Festival, put the lock back on afterwards, and Jared will have the only key. It'll just
Well,
stay
but you give a
locked.
key to the fire department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the ambulance.
The
But
essential-
coaches won't have it,
No,
right, Tom,
yeah,
Dick, and
right.
Harry won't have it.
That's the end of the use of that.
Yeah, it'll just be for this special event.
David?
But now, as far as the festival, that's where we're always gonna have the music on the ball field?
Yes.
Can't answer that.
Well, you know, we originally started having it down in the hollow.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And until we can figure out a way to get an all-weather path to make access to and from a lot safer than it is, we'll be using the ball field. I mean, you know, it's, we would prefer to be down there, but the one year where it got a little wet, the number of people slipping, and luckily nobody injured themselves badly, but there were a lot of bruises, and, you know, it's just not a good situation, so.
David, you all set?
Yeah.
Lee?
Yeah, I don't see a problem with it. We need it. The fire department obviously thinks it's a good idea, so I think we should go ahead as long as there's no cost to the commission.
Ben?
It just, again, he echoed there's no cost to the commission.
No.
And this is, if somebody, I guess the contractor would have to cut an area in the fence and put a new gate in there. Is
Yeah,
that-
yeah.
Okay, I'm fine.
So David, you're okay with the fact that the trees aren't gonna be?
Yeah,
No, we
you know,
don't.
I'd really like to look at it.
That's why we have a director. It's not our job.
The concern's been brought up and so noted. I mean, if you're okay with it, let Eric and, I mean, Boo brought it to Eric before Eric brought it to Boo.
No, we're not gonna touch the trees.
No. We'll put
I
it,
mean, do we need if you wanna make a motion and put the motion right in there?
We should have something in writing from Prairie Harvest.
Well, we'll make a motion that we support the request for the use of that, to purchase the gate, to install the gate, with the understanding that the trees are not gonna be disturbed or cut or
No
hindered in
cost
any
to the
way.
commission. No cost to the commission.
At no cost to the commission.
We have a motion,
Second?
second. David?
I'd like to see a written plan. We usually require a written plan for any kind of work on a,
Okay.
You could forward that to me, and I could distribute it to
Sure.
everybody.
yeah, I mean, you know,
Just to kinda,
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. What's the pleasure of the board? Do you wanna hold off until we get the,
I don't think we need
you
to.
don't need?
we'll get a plan,
You may not
I'll
get-
talk to Boo, and we'll put together a plan and circulate it to the commission, and if, you know, if you could get it out to them, and if anybody has a problem, we'll hold off and,
Can we vote, I just asked the question, are you okay with time frame of April on this?
oh.
Because I
yeah.
know David,
September, right?
Yeah.
the plan is to.
We need it for September, so,
Okay.
you know, there's no big deal
Okay.
on Herrick, no
Why don't you
problem.
Rescind your motion, please.
Well, again, I'll move that we,
you gotta rescind the first
I'll
one.
rescind.
And we'll
Okay?
table
I'll
it.
rescind.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
rescind the motion.
Lee, you okay with that?
I guess.
Yeah, I know you can.
We keep doing it, but we'll do it again.
Okay.
I think you should open the public meeting. That's the way it was advertised at 5:30, right? You have to read the public meeting notice.
Mine doesn't have a, okay.
Do you have the notice, Lee?
So we'll take that, that's off the table, we'll put that on the April agenda. Ed, if you can get him, Eric a plan.
Sure.
Okay? Lee, do you have the notice?
Yeah, it's
Always.
required under public.
is there any, are you here for that purpose, sir?
Public hearing. No, Frank's-
No,
He's here
He's here
for,
for the sign on.
Mr. Chairman? If I
Yes.
could just to sort of fill you in on other things, we put in applications for the dates on the three uses at Brooks Park, and we've increased it to include the Friday because we do some setup, and so we'll be paying the fee for the Friday usage on all 3 dates. With the festival in September, we're going to, the festival committee is going to be producing the music portion of it this year. The radio station has decided, well, they're having some organizational issues, and they've decided not to participate, so we'll be undertaking both the grass fair and the music concerts. And we've been sort of moving around the location of the tent, and we finally come to the conclusion what we're going to do is put about 40% of the tent on the infield dirt, and the remaining 60% of the tent will be on the grass, crossing over the baseline, heading towards the park itself. We tried to keep most of it on the grass, but the problem, because it's basically not nice to sit on the dirt to watch it, but what we've decided is that one of the things we've been missing in the tent is a dance floor. And so we'll put the stage, which is about 16 feet, and then in front of it, put in a 20-foot dance floor in front of it, and that can all be on the dirt. And then it'll leave just about slightly more than half the tent on the grass, but on the grass on the sideline rather than out in the field. Less wear and tear on the playing surface.
Eric does have those applications, and because there's no fee waiver request,
Yeah.
it's his call in regards to irrigation and marking and
Yeah.
all of those things. Okay? That's why it's not gonna be brought up tonight. Okay? Thanks, Ed.
Okay.
Thank you, Ed.
We do have a couple
you.
public hearings. Lee, in the future, just do me a favor and put no earlier than 5:30. I noticed that's how the selectmen get away with if it's a little delayed. So in the future, no earlier than 5:30 if it's for us, okay? So, legal notice of public meeting. The Harwich Rec and Youth Commission will hold a public meeting on Tuesday, March 22nd, 2016. The meeting will be held at 100 Oak Street, Harwich, Mass. 02645. The meeting purpose is to hear public opinion on changes to the town beach rules and regulations and beach sticker pricing for 2016. All are welcome. Harwich Recreation and Youth Commission. This was posted in the March 10th and the March 17th Cape Cod Chronicle. Okay? So we're gonna open up the hearing. We will deal with the beach sticker fee, and what's on the table is to raise the resident season pass from $25 to $30. Do we hear any discussion? I don't see any members of the public here. Lee, just so you can put that
No,
in
Ed's
the
here.
notes. Ed, do you have any comments? I'm sorry, and Mr. Smith is here as well.
I think it will,
Thank you.
I don't think it's unreasonable either, and it will provide needed resources to pay for the maintenance and upkeep,
Thank you.
and
Promotion.
lifeguards.
Haven't we voted on this once?
Yeah, didn't I?
We did, we were under the impression that it went from us to the BOS. They sent it back and said, now you have the public hearing. When it gets to them, I believe it's on the consent agenda.
That's just the opposite of the way it worked before, right?
And they said it's always been this way.
I
Yeah,
sent it
therefore-
over.
Welcome to Harwich.
Lee, Eric and I had the same deer in the headlight look, so, okay. We are on, yeah. So, that being said, I would entertain a motion on the new resident season fee.
I'll move it.
I second. I think that's just the way it went before.
We did, okay.
Yep.
We moved to $5 increase.
5 to 30.
$25 to $30.
David Sadowski, second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is a vote.
I oppose.
Lee opposes. So it's 6-1.
Well, we're on a 5-year plan, and that's sort of the way we've been working it. It's been 5 years since we raised it.
Right.
Rather than go up in dollar increments, we waited 5 years, it went up $5.
The
Pay for
second,
the new stairs.
in the paving in the bathroom, yeah. So the second hearing is an addition to the town beach rules and regulations. It is going to be number 20 if approved. The use of airborne devices, including but not limited to drones, planes, personal jetpacks, other motorized flying devices are prohibited unless authorized at the discretion of an appropriate town agent and lifeguard.
Are we just gonna add that on the bottom of our signs?
We're gonna get an addition, that, we're not changing the whole sign.
Strip,
Okay,
Yeah,
just a
like a
strip.
strip of it.
All that?
Yeah, we'll get it on
And I can't fly around with my
Did
jetpack?
that go before legal? Did legal look at that?
there. Not yet. We can get it before, I didn't know.
Well, I think you're gonna have to, because it's going on, it's official rules and regulations for our
yeah.
beach.
I don't know if it matters. This is the exact wording from the Dennis rules and regs.
No, I'm sure, but I mean, I would at least check with the town
Okay,
administrator.
yeah. I could say
Can
go.
can we kick it up to
How
FAA
soon?
notch?
Yeah,
That you
right.
can't go on 300 feet?
Yeah.
Can't be below?
You laugh about this, the 2 days after we voted that, I had a guy say to me, why couldn't Ember get a drone and you could call from Bank Street Beach from your phone with an app, and you could have a pizza delivered to Bank Street Beach? No word of a lie, and you know who it is. A week after we talked about it. I said, you're too late.
And, public safety owns a drone,
Yep.
so I'm not sure how they
Well,
would
it
use
says in
that.
here,
Oh, yeah.
unless authorized at the discretion of an
Okay.
appropriate town
All right.
agent and/or
Yeah, that should
lifeguard.
cover it.
All right,
Yeah.
I believe the earlier discussion we had was if people wanted to do it in the evening or something, it probably wouldn't be an issue. We just don't want drones flying over crowds of people on the
Yeah.
beach for obvious safety
Yeah,
reasons.
definitely.
Yeah, but then again, if you wanna go down the beach and have a moonlight walk with your wife, you gotta worry about someone tagging along with you?
yeah, exactly.
Maybe you do.
Boy,
For the camera.
jeez.
I think they should be prohibited all the time.
Well, we didn't put any time.
There
in
is no
there.
limit on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't
So
put
it
any
gives-
time in there.
Do you need a motion on that, Eric?
We will.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I move to approve the addition to the beach policy and rule concerning drones and jetpacks.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Run it through legal, just
Yes.
town administrator.
Yep. Hearing no discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
6-1. Oh, yeah, I'm missing Frank. My buddy Frank. Okay. With that being said, and both items taken care of, I'm going to close the public hearing. Thank you very much. So that takes care of that. Do you want to, Patrick? I don't know if everybody has that.
Have fun.
These are the rules and regulations.
See you later.
Glad you stuck around for that, Ed?
Oh, yeah.
You want to take one of these?
Have to put my jetpack down in the basement.
Yeah, right? Yeah, one.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for coming, Ed.
Take care, Ed.
So we took care of that, we took care of that. Let's go to, if the board is okay with it, the, what's it, pickle court fence sign, is that what you get?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Everybody has a copy of,
Just waiting.
did you get one?
Do you have sign?
Did you get one of these?
Yeah, I got it buried in here somewhere.
John,
Yes.
it's after the fact, I'm sorry, but this, number 20 we just voted on.
Yep.
How does that affect drones on the fields that we have? You know, does it say anything about the
This is
fields?
just beach rules and
And
regulations.
there's
This is beach
But,
rules.
I mean, how does that affect people, you know, using drones out on these fields at night and so on and so forth? Yeah, you
It
know.
doesn't. We just
And
voted
that's,
for.
I know. I mean.
We'd have to
I
have
don't
a
think
separate
he's
policy.
concerned with
is
that
you
at this
know,
point
Is that
yet.
something
Yeah.
we should think about in terms of people
Oh,
being out on the
absolutely.
field?
Eventually, yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to look at it. It's not as much of
ugly
a,
head this summer, you watch.
the beaches have been really picking up as far as drones.
You
I
know,
mean,
people
oh,
playing out in
here.
the back, and you got somebody out there with a drone, you got
It's
kids playing
perfect.
ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're playing ball and so on, is that something we wanna
You think about it.
not consider in
Yep.
terms of thinking about it down the road?
I
Yeah,
almost picked one off over my house the other day with my handy dandy little 9mm rifle.
I think we should revisit this later on, you know, see how it affects the fields, you know,
Okay. Eric, get that on a future agenda, please? Thank you.
yeah, just for the
Okay.
sake of discussion.
We have a prototype of a sign that was put together by Mr. Smith and Van regarding the topic of putting a sign or a A thank you to Frank over at the pickleball courts. I will open up by saying, thank you very much to both of you for putting this together. Having had a month to discuss it and think it over, I'm gonna throw it on the table and see what the commission thinks. I'm wondering if a bench or a picnic table with a plaque, just having Frank's name on it, would be a better serve than a sign on a fence. Frank, you know how Frank is with his picnic tables and his benches, you know? And if he was here, I'd say the same thing to him. So it's out there. You have a prototype in front of you, so you've got a couple options. So I'm gonna open it up to discussion. David?
You're looking for something more appropriate in your mind?
I'm not sure appropriate, but more useful, something that's gonna be used by people that are over there playing pickleball all the time. And I think a bench or a picnic, I think personally a picnic table would be the better of the better idea, but that's just
And
one
just
person's
so
opinion.
you know, that picnic table, roughly with a picnic table and a plaque, would probably be $600 to $800, around that range. A bench, the standard bench we use around town to stay consistent with freight and with the plaque is $1,500.
Are they made of gold? I mean, what is this?
I haven't bought a picnic table in a long time, but I
They just
almost
upped the
choked when he
prices.
said the
I
picnic
think it's
table.
Is that the,
1,000 for the bench, 300 for the freight, and 200 for the plaque, something like that around there.
That's the AZAC with the metal frame,
Yeah, the ones we have, the ones we
Huh?
put everywhere.
It's Ipe.
Is that what it's called?
Which is a Brazilian hardwood, hard as a rock.
Yeah.
It may be, but it's still,
Like iron.
I would think that a seat of some, aluminum seat of some type would be a lot more durable, like the ones we have at the
Well,
tennis courts.
let's decide which way we want to go
Yeah,
first.
that's
No, in
fair.
terms of the picnic table, we had one down the field that was donated on behalf of one of the ball players. We put a little plaque in the center of the picnic table, and the bronze plaque really rusted out after a while, okay? And then people using it were sitting on it, and the legs broke off, you know, from the, you know, we got it over Pine Harbor, obviously, and the legs broke off because of the weight of the guy sitting on there and so on. So, I don't know how durable those things are, okay, and whether or not we should look at something from long-term perspective rather than something as short-term.
what's the picnic table made out of that's outside the door?
The ones outside the community center?
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
That
I thought
AZAC?
So, yeah.
And the other
Those are
issue-
good, too.
the other-
Okay.
yeah,
Sorry.
Good.
the other thought is that if you put a sign up like this, people that walk by can see the sign, they get recognition of, you know, I think it's a greater recognition for Frank, having the pickleball courts in his name and his honor. And, you know, people come by, they watch, they play, they watch, you know, their friends and so on. And they see the sign done, you know, done meaningfully, done appropriately. I think it would be a nice tribute to Frank in terms of the courts.
Okay. Jen?
And it wouldn't cost as much, you know, probably.
Do you have an estimate on this?
No, I just wanted to give you language today.
Okay.
I would take it down to the sign guy and get a sense. I don't think it was gonna cost any more than a couple of $100 or so.
Okay, thank you. Jan?
I like the sign.
David?
I like the sign as well. As far as benches and tables, are they part of the next phase of Brooks Park? Do we have benches going in there anyway?
There wasn't a discussion on it.
Nothing we haven't discussed anything like that.
It's not in there yet.
Benches would be nice and they'd be functional. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have to sit and wait their turn to play pickleball because there's a lot of people, you know, involved, right?
We have several of those metal benches down
Right.
there that we've, you know, we could pick those up as we go. Those aren't a huge expense, just those single seat with the back metal
Yeah.
benches.
Yeah, I'm in the tennis courts
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
we have a couple of those down there.
Lee?
I like the sign, to be very honest with you.
Okay. Ron, you ready? Okay, so now that we go in the sign route, what do we think of the proposed language?
I ran the language by Ralph, as I was asked to do.
Okay.
And I think, Ralph, you were in support of,
I think it says it all very well. And you did the composition of this, not I. But I like it very much.
I think it's good word. It doesn't
I think
show like a naming of the course.
it's not, you don't see a dedication.
I like it.
It's not being dedicated
Yep.
to, it's just being recognized and appreciated for his services and what he's done for the pickleball program in town.
David?
Are we gonna mount it?
I think.
Down by the pickleball courts, obviously.
You think the back side or the?
Have a recommendation
The front side, front side of the pickleball.
Parking lot.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
with all the other,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We have one for the tennis court there, existing, right?
Yeah.
The same,
We put it down at the pickleball entrance,
That's the thing.
because the pickleball players aren't going through the front.
Right, they're not.
That's why I was,
But they're parking and so
They're
on,
parking.
and people, other folks that are not pickleball players, I think would be more likely to see the sign, obviously.
Mhm.
yeah, that's true.
My thought.
Mhm.
good thought.
yeah, I like it, I think on the front, off the parking lot.
Just let me suggest something else. We have 200 and some players now, pickleball, and we're putting 25 or 30 people every morning over the middle school.
That's great.
It's amazing.
So once they get outside, it's gonna probably double.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
outside will be,
I think there's 280 registered.
I think there are, yeah, I'd say we're almost 300.
So do we have a motion on this? Do we need, yeah, I think we,
Motion to approve the sign for the pickleball court.
Second.
Lee and Jan. Any further discussion?
Before you go on, I think the timeline on this is that something important. I'm going in for surgery, and then when I get out of rehab and so on, probably mid-April, if that's okay, Ralph?
Sure. is what I
Guys,
think.
mid-April, thereabouts, near the end of April, I'll take it down to the sign guy. And what I'm looking at, similar to the sign in back here, would be the white Aztec material with probably either blue or red print. I'll let him decide which is more meaningful, which is more appropriate in terms of appearance and so on. And the lettering, he could design all this, and I'll bring it back to the commission to look at the final product in terms of a design, a schematic.
Okay.
are we going into the ground?
No, we're going on the fence.
Hanging on the-
Okay?
Could I make
So-
a suggestion? If that's where it's going on the fence, can we keep it uniform? It's probably gonna be the same person that makes it anyway,
Right.
but can you, take a picture of what we have there?
Try to keep it close.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want a whole bunch of, a
Right.
hodgepodge of
Exactly.
signs.
Good idea.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is a vote. Thank you, gentlemen.
I'm gonna excuse myself. if I may.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for your courtesy.
Have a nice night.
Thank you for the suggestion, we really
See you later.
appreciate it.
See you later.
Means a
Thanks,
lot to
buddy.
all of us.
Director's report.
I don't have any updates on the ones that are here. The only thing I was adding on was, in your packet, part of the last department head union contract was for the town to do a salary review for all department heads. We were asked to develop survey questions from counterparts across the Cape, not every town, but I selected 10 towns and questions. There's a 10-page report that I submitted the other day to Town Hall, so it's just kind of for your information. You can look through it. I don't know if anybody has questions, I just gave it to you, so. The other thing was the Earl Road walkway, I was gonna update everybody on. I got some quotes on that from, I gotta name the Access Rec LLC. I met this guy last summer. He does a lot of Moby Mat materials. I'm not a huge fan of the Moby Mat. I like the Trex better. They do a Trex, for a 50-foot Trex, 5 feet wide. It's $3,100. That's before shipping, and we have to put it together ourselves. So I talked to Boo and Sean Libby, and they said it would be a possibility that they'd be able to do one a lot cheaper. They have a lot of stuff on their plate right now. It may take a little longer than it would if we were to order this right now. But they're gonna get me a number, but they're confident they can get it cheaper than
We can save some money.
$3,000. And this is just to go out, 50 foot would take you out a little behind the lifeguard stand if you're going from the center. Just to get the people out there. If they wanna go further than that, we have the beach wheelchairs. We can wheel them right to the water.
How much does that thing weigh?
1,145 pounds.
You're not picking it up every night.
No.
Yeah, roll it up and put it in the shed, right?
How does that affect the beach cleanup? Do we know?
That was the other question I asked. They don't go up that high usually, so I don't think it'll,
And then the one question you have when you talk to them, just if
Yep.
you could just, that they have a side, like the little side kick, so if someone's going down,
Yeah.
the little resting place,
oh, I see what you're saying.
like some of the other ones have.
Okay, yep,
So if somebody's coming the other way.
yeah,
or
they could
whatever
pull off
case
the
may
side,
be,
yep.
Or someone just wants to sit there and not block the,
Yep.
the trail, the path.
Stop.
Just so I don't misunderstand, you're not taking that up every night?
No, this
You're not
one,
rolling it up every night?
no, this one, it comes in 5-foot sections that somehow hook together.
Unless it's 130 mile, 50 mile an hour
Nobody's
wind,
picking
where
those
no
up,
one's picking
yeah.
the half the town up.
But that's if we went with this. If Highway did it, it'd be more like the one at Bank Street, which
Right.
is similar to this, but
Right.
it'd be even more kind of one piece together,
Right.
even harder.
one at Bank Street.
Yeah.
I do too.
That's worked out well.
Yeah, it
That's
has.
worked out real well.
So will this be like Bang, is it permanent, or does it come up seasonal, or?
This one is supposed to come up seasonal. If Highway did it, it would stay.
Yeah.
It would just stay, yeah. So you're better off anyway. You don't
It's easier to walk on.
have to store it or anything, yeah. So, those were the two add-ons there.
Any questions, comments on the director's report? Okay, we're moving on, property maintenance report.
Pull that out here. Let me just see if there's anything noteworthy. The Veterans Memorial Complex, the little men's and women's room signs fell off. We got new ones. I put done by mistake. They're in my office. I will put them on tomorrow morning. They just gotta get stuck up there. The White House Field repair chain link fence next to school lot. If you take a ride down there, the fence is all warped and sagging down. It just looks bad. I brought it up to Boo. He said, and then it kind of got parlayed into the Brooksfield backstop, which has to be repaired. He said, you're better off calling Landmark for them to come in and do those little repairs, see what a quote would be. So I'm gonna call them in the morning and see when they can get down.
Lee, would you have any idea who that fence, well, I mean, it's, right now, it's kind of like, who the fence belongs to?
Boo said it could be the schools, but he said if you leave it
probably
up to
damaged
them,
by the
it'll
school.
never, ever get fixed.
No, it won't.
It just looks like crap when you're going
It
over
does.
to the,
It does, and I mean, it's so close to White House. I mean,
that's what I was thinking.
I think we need to fix it. It probably belongs to the school, but,
Who put it up?
It's been there for, I
Been
mean,
there
as long as I've lived here.
yeah.
And then the only other really new thing on here is I'm planning, once I get some summer staff in here, to clean out the boathouse at Sand Pond, since we're not using it anymore.
What's in there?
I gotta see what's salvageable.
Bats.
Every time I go in there, I get a raccoon in my face or bats, so I don't go in there very often.
I don't
So
blame you.
I'm gonna have one of my lifeguards go in first, and I'll follow behind him.
Rank has its privilege.
So when the hair furs up, you'll know.
Yeah.
Hey, get him a
So, and
helmet
then-
and a
You
broom.
get your rabies shots?
What's left in the basement here?
What's left?
Are there still stuff that's in cartons that we haven't used?
The only thing that's down there now, no, we put together our new hoops, the ones that Jeff bought years ago.
Yeah.
Those are being used. The only thing that's still in cartons down there is some extra bases, which Highway always could use. I'm
Yeah.
sure they'll be picking them up soon, actually, for
No
this
clothes
this
down there?
season. What's that?
No clothes down there?
No, the clothes are all upstairs, either in my office or in the gym closet. So.
Okay.
And that's all I had on maintenance report.
Any questions, comments on Eric's maintenance report? Okay, moving on to the budget report.
We couldn't get the regular one printed out. We are still on track. We got revolving out. We're at 45,293, which is slightly up from last month.
Questions, comments? Okay.
So
Chair-
you're on
David, I'm sorry.
track for,
The regular expenses, yeah, we're right where we are with every other month, every other year, I'm sorry.
gotta make it till July 1st.
That's it.
We will.
Okay, Chairman's report, nothing to report on my end. CPC, David Nixon.
CPC.
That's you, right? Yeah.
We're still going through we're all set for town meeting, they're gonna bring the articles forward. We're still having an issue with the accounting of CPC money. And that's gonna be either on town meeting floor is my guess. That's something that the chairman's working with the finance director of the town with. And the other thing is, the CPC's in the process of developing their plan for the CPC. and they just interviewed a consultant. They're gonna have a discussion with the whole board about it, so we'll see what happens when that transpires. Other than that, things have been uneventful.
Okay. Thank you. Questions? David, you look like you're, okay. Lee?
Let's see, the Easter egg hunt's on Friday, that's gonna be at the middle school.
I have, so far, yeah, they had it there last
We
year.
had it there last year.
That's a good spot to have it.
It is.
We have 6 people so far I got working it,
Oh, good.
so,
Good. Do what you
trying
want
to
now.
yeah, I told her,
Yep.
all hands on deck.
If you go around the building, you'll notice that the damage has been repaired. The paint colors don't match in all the places, but they are around $100,000 worth of damage.
Wow.
Between lost items, we had to replace the decks on all of the treadmills in the weight room. We had people approach Carolyn and wanting a refund because they weren't able to get it in the weight room for 2 weeks.
Didn't they get to use the school?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes, well, that's not what they
That's
wanted.
even, that's all new, brand new stuff. over
Yeah,
there.
we had to provide somebody to go over there, and they could use the high school from 5 to 7 at night. And people did,
Oh, yeah, a lot of people.
but it's still, there were still people that were, you know. It's like I went down and unhooked this pipe and flooded the place on purpose, so they couldn't use the weight room. So, it's crazy.
Is now, is insurance covering that? Did they ever
Everything,
find
the
out?
town has a $5,000 deductible.
Wow, that's good.
Yep, yep.
I mean, if the rates will, they don't like paying water claims, so they won't be happy with that.
Yeah, yeah. So that all worked out in the long run. We'll end up putting a heater in that hallway down there, just so that doesn't happen again. But again, if it had been anything but a sprinkler line, we would have been in a lot
yeah.
worse shape than what we were actually
But
were.
if it didn't, yeah, because if it didn't have that alarm, it would
Had
have,
that alarm, we wouldn't have known about it
Would've gone all
until
weekend.
Tuesday. Because Monday was a holiday, so Tuesday.
till it came out the front door and somebody saw it.
So I take it the kayaks were floating across them?
Well, when the fire department got here, there was water coming out the back door.
Wow.
So,
Have they, as a part of the process, have they looked at it for mold remediation?
oh, yes, yep, yep. The insurance company hired one of those disaster companies to come in and clean up. I mean, they were checking the rugs and stuff in the weight room, because we just had those replaced not long ago. So if there, anything showed up there, they were gonna have them clean out the weight room and rip it all up. But so far, so good, so.
Keep an eye on your circulation
Oh, yeah.
system.
So that's basically what's going on around.
Be quiet.
Yep, yep.
Okay. All right, going on to miscellaneous correspondence, use of facilities for the Cranberry Fest, as I mentioned earlier, is Eric's responsibility at this point. Notification from the Board of Selectmen that on March 7th, they granted the Remembrance Walk David Burtwell Memorial to take place on Saturday, May 7th, and that is for the Alzheimer's. So they were just informing us of that.
Now, do they come through us to get permission to use the
They did.
ball field? I mean, Brooks Park?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right,
Yes, there was an application here, Lee, I'm sorry.
all right. No, I was just
Yeah, I
wondering.
have it on file back there.
Yep. On to old business approval, the bids for the ice cream vendor were opened on the, what, the 10th, Eric?
Yep,
10th of March, I believe Eric sent out the information, and now it's our turn to award the bids. And the 2-year bid for Hyannis Ice Cream is in the amount of $30,596.
Is that an increase?
no, it's a deep, it's 15,298 per year, as opposed to 20,500. I had a feeling that was coming.
That's a significant amount of money.
But the contract before our last one was only 15.
Right, exactly.
So it's kind of that range. There was an 18, there's a 15, there's a 20,
And they're the only bidder.
and they're the only bidder.
Of course.
So, and then as far as the Red River vendor, Hyannis Ice Cream did bid, but they only bid
Hold on,
12
Eric,
oh,
let's
I'm
stay,
sorry.
yeah, let's,
Oh, yeah,
so I
one
need
at
a
a time.
motion on the Hyannis Ice Cream
So
for
moved.
$35.96.
Second.
Motion David Nixon, second Lee Culver. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is a vote. The Hyannis, the Red River concession, Hyannis Ice Cream came in at $2,400 for 2 years, and Buca's Restaurant came in at $5,000 for 2 years. Buca's Restaurant obviously is gonna be Depot Dogs.
Whoever you guys will vote on, I'll have on the agenda next month to come in to discuss location of their truck and any details down at Red River.
As a courtesy.
To make
so
sure we
can
have it
open
all set.
communication. Board's pleasure.
I move that we accept Buca Restaurant bid of $5,000 for Red River Beach food concession.
I can't second that.
I'll second it.
I eat there too often, I can't second it.
Huh?
He eats there too often. Who's gonna second it?
I second
Dave
it.
Sadowski seconded. We have a motion and a second.
There all the time.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
It passes 5-1. David, you're a piece of work.
Ah, fair is fair, John.
That's exactly right.
You don't need it.
Okay. On to that, now just, couple things I guess I could have brought up on the chairman's report. And something we're gonna talk about when they come in April is where the commission, and I won't be here for the April meeting, by the way, I will be away, is location. We had it on the opposite side from the bulkhead with the big truck because it wouldn't fit on the other side. This is a smaller 8-foot trailer, 10-foot trailer?
Yeah,
That he tows behind his red truck. It'd be picked up, brought down, dropped off, and picked up in the afternoon every day. So he can bring it back, and we had a brief discussion with him after the bid opening, and he said that way he can get everything ready for his one at Depot Dogs and this one. So they get it all set up, they bring it down, they park it. There was a discussion about electricity. He said in the perfect world, he would like electricity. He understands he'd have to pay for it. If it has electricity, it has, the first thought, if he wants electricity, it would have to be to the right of the bathrooms again, because that's where the meter and the power. He said, why couldn't we run the cable across the street? And I said, well, you get an issue with cars. He said, no, he goes, that's not really, he goes, you can do the speed bumps with the tunnel in it, like they do for venues and carnivals and whatnot, and do it that way. And I said, okay, that's something to think about. I guess we as a commission have to decide, do we wish to have it up against the bulkhead in that area behind the, what would be the gate attendant shack, up against the bulkhead, we have that cordoned off area where there's no parking, with a break in the wall and the bulkhead
Is
used to
that
be.
what, by chair two?
chair 2, yes.
So do we want it there, or do we want it on the other side? Good.
I think it should be near the bulkhead, because then we don't have people running out
Come across.
with the traffic.
The downside, and I didn't realize it, I was thinking from where they were to the bulkhead, that's an easy speed bump.
Yeah.
Whereas over where it is, it's kind of wide open there.
Yeah.
It's probably the widest part of our entire parking
Yeah.
lot. Because it comes from the marsh by the bridge, well, it's culvert,
Right.
all the way over to the bulkhead. So, Boo has agreed to meet, once the gentleman gets back.
Yep.
To meet with him and Boo and you and I, if you want down there,
Sure.
and come up with and then bring it back for the April meeting.
Are we talking about a truck or a cart?
Trailer.
So a cart.
Cart.
What they have,
Not like eggs at
what
10.
they have up at the store, at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Right.
It's more of a closed-in, like a construction trailer
so
that the
why
side
we-
pops up.
What's with the electricity?
He needs electricity for, what did he say he needed for, Eric? Gotta keep the water warm.
Yeah, I don't know.
He said
Refrigeration.
either electricity, David, or a generator.
They both run off gas.
I'm just telling you what he told us.
They used electricity. Rob
Refrigeration.
Mador used electricity too.
Yeah, Rob had the meter.
He tapped into the,
Well,
Yeah.
look what he had for a facility.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Good
again,
question
I'm laying
asked.
myself open. I eat at a lot of these places.
It's okay,
And,
Dave.
and they run
small
on
town.
gas propane generators.
Yes,
Propane
he, oh,
heaters.
hold on.
He
He
doesn't have a
doesn't want a gas generator because he's
Noise.
the noise and the smell
Yep.
from the
Fumes.
people on the beach, and that's legit.
Of course it is.
Okay.
There's no,
You don't want the fumes
You
up your
can't
head.
well, there's no fumes with the
Well, the noise is
With no
pretty bad.
disrespect to anybody at the board, there's no smell to a gas propane generator.
I have a
Propane.
gas generator, there's no smell.
Not gas, propane.
I have a street gas generator, there's no smell.
It's the sound more than anything.
The
about the
sound,
noise?
the noise is deafening.
Okay, fair enough.
Noise is deafening.
And that's a good discussion with him when he comes in for the April meeting. David
absolutely.
Sadowski?
I think if electricity is gonna be necessary at the operation, and I prefer to have it where the last one was, right next to the restrooms, and then it's all in one spot.
It just makes me nervous,
Oh,
running
yeah,
it through
big
the
time.
speed bump, and some car comes along, and hits the brakes, takes the speed bump, pulls the wire, and we got a raw, hot wire on the
They run
Just
those
a
to
thought.
bigger places than Red River
Oh, yeah,
Beach.
oh,
I
absolutely.
understand.
I
Absolutely.
just would rather have a car hit a wire than a person.
Yeah, that's
my
my
concern.
issue
I
with
never
putting it
liked
next to the
But
bathroom.
there's people crossing to the bathroom
Yeah,
anyway.
it's just less
all the time.
people, maybe.
I
But
understand
they're
that.
not as distracted, they don't have their hands full with
Hot
hot
dogs.
dogs and soda
mustard.
and
No,
mustard.
beach chairs, beach balls.
So, that's
You know why?
what'll be discussed when he comes in.
You have to
Okay.
tunnel, you'd have to tunnel
Yeah,
underneath.
okay, but why didn't we ever think about putting an outlet, a regular outlet?
They can do, we can have the capability of doing that, we could tunnel right under that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we've only been doing a few food vendors there a few years, so
Right.
It's a learning,
it hasn't been a necessity.
Something to think about,
Yeah,
in the
well, it's
future,
definitely something to think
putting an
about.
outlet in there. So you don't have to worry about the streets and the bumps and everything else, you got your outlet right there.
Wouldn't take much to break up that blacktop.
No.
actually, they don't even have to do
When are
that,
they
they
gonna
go
wait?
right onto the sand.
What's that?
When are they gonna, when is that on for paving?
Keeps
Well,
getting
it's
pulled.
on the next, it's always on the next year's capital
Right.
7-year plan, it gets bumped ahead. Link actually called me today, saying there was somebody in his office asking why it's in such bad shape.
It is, I was
Oh,
down there
it's tough.
yesterday, it's
Link
very-
asked me, he
tough.
said, would you be okay if I talked to Chris about seeing if it's even possible to get it on the special town meeting? And I said, you could ask him if you want, but it's $200,000.
It's a lot of money for a beach parking lot, I'll
It's a
tell you.
big parking lot,
Jesus.
but it needs work, and the puddle there in the middle.
How about looking into doing conduit, have them punching a conduit underneath in the sand? What that would cost,
I can mention it to Link.
to put a plug there.
Don't understand, we're only getting $2,500 for this bid.
Right. Yeah, after a
So
while.
we don't wanna spend
No,
$2,300.
Diminishing returns, yeah.
I know, I agree with you. It may be if they end up getting the paving on the fast track, then obviously that's when you do it.
absolutely, yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see, my first thought is vandals, somebody's back, where do you put it? I mean, you just gotta hide it so that someone doesn't back into the bulkhead and whack it, or talking about open, just something to think about.
Was
What are they gonna do with the wire?
A DJ set up and
That's what we discussed. Absolutely, I thought of the same thing, I had that thought.
Have to
Can you
lock
pull
it
it out
Travel
of those
to
things
that.
and put it back in? Or,
It's a pain in the neck.
is it?
Yeah, it's a long ways.
Yeah,
Think how far it is from that pole to where we're talking
Yeah.
about putting it,
Yeah.
it's not 5 feet.
No.
so it's gotta be there, stay there. probably.
And it's on a beach, so if there's any issue whatsoever, there's a public safety
Right.
issue. That's a lot to digest.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got one public safety issue or another public safety issue.
That's right, David, you're right, exactly. That's why you have the discussion, so Eric can get his info from Boo, bring it back to you guys, and go from there.
Okay.
Are you here in, April, are you going away?
No, it should be here.
Just wanna make sure we still have we talked about the pickleball court fence. This can't be right.
Did we accept this, or did I?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yeah, because you abstained.
That's right.
New business, anybody have anything new to bring up? Lee?
What's the status on the lights at Brooks Park?
The lights at Brooks Park, as of the last time we checked, they were working. I'll run down there and test them again, but I haven't heard anything about them not working right now. for the moment.
Because we need to look down the road at those.
Well, yeah, I saw that as part of one of the phases, the complete upgrade of lighting. Remember I got a quote on doing all LED and it was like
Oh, yeah.
hundreds of
Oh, yeah.
thousands of dollars.
And then we thought we could get some help from the Cape Light Compact.
Yeah.
and
That was-
They don't use enough
Right.
to warrant them helping us.
I think they said they could give us like $9,000 or something. But only if we went LED. So I'll test them out though, just to see what that.
Is there an amount that's out? Is that the question?
No. I just wanted to see that they were up and running because we've changed the time and kids are now up there at night.
Still the bank out that was out last year, last summer?
No, there was a back out.
There were a bunch of them out.
There was nothing out at the end of it.
Right.
At the
We
end
had
of the
that all
summer.
looked at.
Yeah,
Talking here or there?
there,
Oh, no, we're
Oh,
talking
no,
Brooks.
Talking
You're
Brooks
about
back.
Brooks.
yeah.
And I never heard a thing about,
White House, I thought you were
I didn't
talking
no,
about White House.
you mentioned to me the lights out there, no one else said it. Mariners never said
Mariners
it,
never
no
said
one ever said anything to Eric. We'll have to
Well, we
find
have
out.
that,
When do they go back on?
The lights, they start, Mariners don't start for a while.
Yeah,
No,
right.
but who else is using,
Probably April sometime. I'd have to look at the calendars. When's the first night use?
now's the time to figure that out, not the day the Mariners start.
Yeah, we'll check them out. We'll have that, not that it helps in April, but we'll have that 12,000 again this year, it looks like,
Yeah.
line item. And it's not just designated for lights this time.
Anything else, Lee?
Not that I can think of.
Dan, anything on the new business?
I'd like to start the discussion about beach renourishment that I emailed you about. I don't know if this is the proper time or.
Sure, bring it up, throw it on the table and,
I just would like
Refresh my
to,
memory.
well, I sent out the email
Yep.
that would like to start a discussion with regards to beach nourishment, addressing erosion. Provincetown lost Herring Cove Beach. It's gone. The water's up to the parking lot.
Really?
On Nauset Beach, they were losing, they figured 2 feet a year. In the last 2 years, they've lost 12 feet each year. Chatham's making preparations. The beaches, the ocean's broken through at Truro a couple of times. I mean, you know, in your children's lifetime, Provincetown will probably be an island.
Yeah.
So I just think that we would be, as a beach commission, we would be remiss in our duties if we didn't address it. I talked to Lee briefly about it. I don't think there's much we can do about the rising tide and sea level rise. But I think that we are in a very enviable position. Everybody else is losing a lot, and we're not. We're relatively protected. But the really great thing about Harwich is we have 3 harbors, and they all need dredging from time to time, and we can renourish our beaches with the sand from those 3 harbors. And so I want to start addressing the best way to do that. There was a time last year when, I guess probably due to snafus with permitting and scheduling, we were offered sand and couldn't take it because it was in
they
season.
wanted to dump it on Bank Street
Yeah.
in July.
Yeah.
But, you know, there was nothing we could do at that time. But I think with proper planning and better communication, whatever, I wouldn't want to miss that opportunity
I
again.
think that came a lot from that, because they do it through the county dredge.
Right.
So they have to
Yep.
take it whenever they're gonna
Yeah, and
do
the
it.
permits are issued based on what endangered species on out there, and I mean, it's quite a process when you get the permits.
I thought they had done something about streamlining the permits. I thought I read that someplace, that it was supposed to be
Well, they,
becoming easier.
well, I don't know if I could say that.
But in any event, not, you know, I think we should begin to address it as, whatever best way we can. There was, I Googled about it too, there was at one point there was some discussion with building a seawall or a groin or, you know, a breakwater out off one of the harbors and coming around. And I remember we talked about it here briefly because we talked about keeping the seaweed out. keeping the seaweed off the beaches. And I think if somebody addressed it, and I found it in the minutes of I didn't print it out, hopefully you take my word for it, Community Preservation Committee, 10/13/2011. You're probably still on it, Mr. Chairman. I don't think so, but anyway. Beach preservation under new business. The town selectmen would like to use CPC funds for sand replacement. A second consideration would be to extend a beach jetty or groin, not beach nourishment. And then it goes on to say whether CPA funds can be used for sand replacement on a jetty beach. A Cape Cod Times article stated this sort of project would fall under rehabilitation restoration guidelines, but many, including Chairman Jack Brown, disagree. Replacing sand at a beach repeatedly may be more of a maintenance issue, but replacing a sand jetty may fit the guidelines.
And knowing
Wow.
the current CPC, I think they would
Wow.
go on and on with that maintenance thing. That would be their argument.
But the rules have changed since 2011.
Yeah, yeah.
But this, just that there's a precedence there. They were talking about, A, using CPC funding for beach renourishment, and B, talking about a jetty that would go out. And that would really protect, like, I don't think we lose that, we certainly don't lose as much as the, like Sandwich on the bay or, Orleans or Provincetown.
And it's considered restoration if it increases the usability of a recreational area.
Right.
That's what they say now. So that would fall right into
And
it.
I don't know as we've lost anything.
I was gonna ask the question, what?
I mean, I've got pictures from years ago, the Leach used to take pictures of the coastline every year because we would use them when we were applying for federal funds after storm declarations. And I don't think that we've lost a lot of coastline. We're, as you said, in an enviable position compared to places like Chatham and everybody that's east of us.
Right.
I don't know when they're gonna dredge again,
I haven't heard anything.
and I'm not sure I know where we'd put the sand if they were gonna dredge, to be quite honest with you. Because we've just,
For the short term?
yeah,
Atlantic
You mean,
Ave.
you mean what, beach, Lee, or if it was
well,
in the middle of
what
the
beach,
summer?
what beach we would need, or where we would put it in the summer. I mean, if you call upon the highway guys, right in the middle of their busy season,
It's a tough.
and to hire Bobby Hour's crew or somebody else is gonna be monumental money-wise. I don't see us doing a lot of dredging in the summer because it's our high season. Where we would store it if we had to dredge in the summer, and we don't wanna just overload beaches with sand because we've got the sand. Years ago, we used to have to replenish Red River Beach every few years, and we would buy sand from Provincetown.
Really?
But, yeah, they used to scrape it off of Route 6, put it into big dump trailers and bring them back up and sell it to the towns. They can't do that anymore because they're losing more than we are. So I think we need to start looking at this and see, Rendon would probably know when we're gonna be dredging again. And it depends upon, and I thought we were gonna have him at one of our meetings.
Yeah, I keep trying to get them in. I could get them in April if you want. I'll try to.
Yeah.
Just so the board knows, the issue of maintenance from the perspective of the CPC is still very deep-seated, whether or not they want to provide money for maintenance whatsoever. And it's up to them ultimately to make the decision.
Well, they just spent $600,000 to maintain the library, another $3 for that shack in West Harwich.
I'm just relaying the information.
I think Lee makes a valid point. If they can stretch the envelope in one way, they can certainly stretch it in our direction.
No, I don't disagree with you. That doesn't mean they do, but.
Right, exactly, exactly.
Well,
So Dave, are you
I
okay with
guess
starting with John Rendon next month?
That's all the point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
I think as a beach commission, we should address it. And I think, as I mentioned in the emails with all the other, the harbor master, conservation, highway, all those departments and any other town committees that you think are pertinent to the effort, we should begin dialogue or form a subcommittee of some kind, and I think it should start here. I would rather it started here than, ended here and we're forced with last-minute decisions.
I think starting with John, at least getting maybe a time frame of what the dredging schedule going forward is. If he says we're doing it in September, then you've gotta come up with a quicker plan.
Yep.
If he says we're not scheduled to dredge till September of 17, that gives you a little bit more time to get a plan. If he
Right.
says you're dredging in August, then
Right.
we're again stuck.
Lee, refresh my memory. When the private organization, when the private homeowners came in to get that sand from the last few that were
Yeah.
done, who was the contact point, or who directed that?
Town administrator.
Town administrator through the Board of Selectmen.
Wasn't Tommy Leach the one?
Yeah, at one point, he was very involved in it.
Oh, I don't know, he wasn't here the last time we did it. so.
Right.
Yeah.
The time before, he kind of brokered.
See, that was, the last one was Allen Harbor, but that was all part of that renovation of Allen Harbor, so there was a split on who was
Oh, yeah,
doing what
yeah,
and how much
yeah.
and what they were charging and.
Well, I think I don't know if there's a law, a bylaw, a rule, but I do remember that, the town's position was that dredge sand from any town harbor was to go on town beaches first, and if there was any left, then it would be for sale. I don't know if it was for sale for cost, or what the price was
That's
for
in
private
writing,
beaches.
that's
Yeah.
like the policy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, again, is it the Board of Selectmen that have the final say on that?
Yes.
Harbor master had something to do with that too.
Well, I mean,
Well,
the harbor
just
master's
about.
involved,
He's in
but
charge of
the buck
dredging.
stops up front.
But I think the point person for the dredging project is the harbor master.
Yes.
And he works with the
He's-
county or whatever,
He
find out how
submits,
many
he
yards.
submits his plan to the Waterways Committee and,
That works it.
that works it that way.
So John
But
can be your-
Rendon would be the one to
Yeah,
get in
it's
here. Yeah.
So then waterways, if we were to do this ad hoc sort of committee, waterways would be involved also.
I would assume.
Waterways, Conservation, Highway,
Okay.
probably somebody from up front.
Okay?
I just want to start kicking it
Yeah.
around. I think we should address it and do what we can if it,
Better to be proactive than reactive.
exactly. Thank you.
Lee, anything else?
No.
Juan,
I'm good.
you gonna be here at the April meeting?
Yeah,
You'll be
hopefully.
back and going?
Hopefully.
Attaboy.
Yeah, but-
David, did I already asked you?
All set.
David says I
Me?
should be, right, David?
Absolutely, Ron.
He's used to usually right next to me, Eric.
The only thing I have is I'm gonna be on vacation from the 16th to the 24th. So I'll be back for the meeting.
Where you going, Jersey?
Hilton Head,
Good for you.
yeah,
Good for you.
driving
Actually,
with the
you know what?
kids in the car.
Oh, wait a minute, when's the meeting?
Oh, my God, are you crazy?
I'll be back. I come back that Sunday.
15 hours.
Are we
Oh,
there yet?
my God.
We're gonna split it up, we're gonna go to Annapolis and split it up.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, yeah. I used to pull my hair out just driving to Maine with my two kids.
We did Outer Banks.
Oh, my
I
God.
can't believe
You've
I'm
done
doing
that
this
before,
again.
yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine driving to Florida someplace with
6-year-old
kids.
and a
Oh,
4-year-old,
my God.
too.
Not going through Georgia.
Many years, every weekend to Maine with the skiing.
Yep, we used to go up snowmobiling all the time, and
Okay.
back then, the kids would stand right next to me in the front seat.
They didn't have a helmet on or anything?
When we were driving, Sean would stand up next to me, and Sean would never give up. The only time he fell asleep is when he fell asleep, and he would just
Flop over.
Yep. Yep, and he would stand right next to me, driving up and down the main turnpike, pulling the snowmobiles, and oh my God.
Our
Back then,
next,
we weren't worried about
our next
car
meeting is
seats.
scheduled for the 26th of April, believe it or not.
Wow.
If we have no other
Time.
business, I'll
Jeez.
entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Nice to see everybody.
Opposed, stay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.